What is going on, friends? I'm very excited about today because we have compiled some videos from the last 15 years. Dun, dun, dun! Thank you, Ford. OG Vaughn, okay? Oh my gosh, skateboard car. I think this was the first year I went. That was the whole joke of getting turf. Amazing feelings going on right now watching this. And I'm gonna watch these videos and see what might come to mind to share behind the scenes or any stories that never made it. And probably a lot of you don't even know these videos exist. And many of them are still on my YouTube, and I'm excited to look at them because I've not deep dove in the last 15 years. I'm very much a forward thinking guy and don't live too much in the past. So this is gonna be fun. Let's get to it. Top 16 introductions, China style, lights, dancers, lasers, and a crowd filling up an Olympic Stadium. Definitely good times. Woo! So, WDS China, I wanna say this was 2011, maybe 2012, but this was when WDS had re-kicked off. We went over there in like, I don't know, 06, 07, and then they revamped the series. In 2011 to 2014, I went over there. I won the championship there multiple times, but like, this was such an unbelievable initiative. We went to like sporting stadiums. Literally the day before, it was a soccer field or whatever field it was. And then they put asphalt down and built a drift course. Very similar to what they're doing now in Drift Masters. WDS was the first to do it, and it was insane. They had these stadiums packed full of people. The halftime shows were like something out of movies. It was absurd. I had at the time was my demo car. It was a supercharged Coyote, and it was actually, I believe that this car was Ken Gushi's old drift car that I inherited when he stopped working with Ford and I started, and it was just sitting. I revamped it into a demo car, sent it to China. It wasn't that much done to it. Suspension, horsepower, it was gutted and had some steering angle. And in this round, I remember Daigo came over and he was driving a S15. In fact, that's what this next clip is. Me battling Daigo. Ended up winning. I think I won this event. Yep, I was right. It was 2011. Daigo was there, Matt Powers. I think Kyle Mohan was there, and a bunch of drivers from Taiwan, China, all over Asia were there. Singapore, I think. It was wild. It was a really, really cool experience. Oh, that's funny. I said we're going to Pizza Hill. That was the Chinese. I don't believe it was like the Chinese version of Pizza Hut, but it was, you know, the place that was going to be open at the end of this. I'm sure that happened, and then some partying ensued after. Oh, that was great. Oh, man. Hot version. So this was part of the 10 Unleashed. So in 2010, when they launched the new Mustang, it was Ford and I came up with the concept. Well, Ford came up with the concept to do the 10 Unleashed, which was they chose 10 people to kind of unleash their inner Mustang. And I was able to get them to take me to Japan with a Mustang, and not just me, but a bunch of media. So we were like rolling through Japan with like 3 to 5 Mustangs that like didn't even exist. The media were driving Mustangs, and then I had a Mustang that we had done some work with. This was when RTR was really just a concept. So in the background, I would have been developing RTR, and we took a bone stock 2010 Mustang, put a Ford Performance supercharger on it, some HRE wheels, and Ford Performance suspension on it, sway bars, adjustable dampers, lowering springs, which is the suspension setup that we launched RTR with in 2011. And we went around Japan and had a blast. I mean, I went to Ebisu. Now some of that might even be in this video. I might be precursoring this, but for this particular thing, we went to a hot version shoot, and it was myself, Nob, Keiichi Tsuchiya. I mean, a lot of the Japanese OGs who I had like always, you know, from videos when I got into drifting had looked up to, and obviously Taniguchi was just unbelievable, right? NOB, Nob, no one better. And so we went to this track. I don't even remember what track we're at right now off the top of my head, but it was like monsoon raining and we were doing challenges. And so it was me and the Mustang versus all these other JDM cars. And I held my own. In fact, I think everybody was freaking blown away, including myself, at how the Mustang was able to perform on this small circuit, especially in these conditions. So this was before the 5-liter. So this was the 3-valve. This was the last year of the 3-valve, the 4.6 liter single overhead cam V8. And we put the Ford Performance Whipple blower on it. Ripping. Oh, rev limiter, you know, not too much has changed. Yes, look at my shoes. Oh my gosh, hold on. I got to get these real quick. Stand by. Dun, dun, dun. So my prized possessions. I collaborated with Ken on these. As y'all know, he started DC. Rest in peace, my bro. But I will always cherish these shoes that we designed together, and even have worn the soles out in them. I love these shoes. That is amazing that they're in this video. I don't know what they're saying, but I think they're saying what I am. Like, holy crap, is he doing this right now? I mean, the conditions were, you see, they're horrible. Also, 2 videos so far, and everyone's heard, whoa! So just want to put it out there. Been doing that shit for a real long time. Just want to put that out there, friends. And why I do it, I don't know. It just feels good sometimes to like end a sentence with it, or just like let it out. It's just part of me. So ain't no Ric Flair, none of that. That's straight OG Vaughn, okay? Oh, drifting in the KSA. So this is the same car that I had in China. I had gone to Saudi Arabia for the first time ever and sent this car out to do an event at this racetrack in Al Reem. It's called Al Reem. Off this track day, Andy and I, Andy Lapuca, who's now Race Service, was a filmer, and Brian Wilkerson from MA Motorsports was our mechanic that was at this event, and who is now, this moment, a mechanic on James's car. We saw this badass facility and we're like, can we get access of this to shoot a video? So this was like as run and gun as it gets, probably 1, maybe 2 shooters. And Brian was dead tired. It was like 110 degrees. This was absurd doing this. So this was a 4-valve motor. So this was the Illuminator at the time, the 4.6 Illuminator with a Ford Performance supercharger on it, probably 550-ish horsepower. Pretty heavy car. It's probably 3,500 pounds-ish, 4 maybe. But yeah, this was a 4.6 Illuminator. God damn. Been doing this for a while, ladies and gentlemen. So my first time there, right? And in this video, there's also a shot of a red Mustang that comes in and starts the video, which we cut out. But I would encourage you to go check the whole video out. But anyway, I will never forget this moment in my life. It was, we were also over there promoting RTR because we worked with a dealer over there, Al Jazeera Ford. who was the sole Ford dealer in Saudi Arabia at the time. And so we had the first couple RTRs over there, and this was a promo. I went over there to promote that and support Ford and things like that. And I went to take somebody for a ride. And I had been drifting the track all day the day before. This was just before we shot this video. And I had been drifting the track the whole day before. We went back in the morning, and I went to give this guy a ride. I'm doing 100 miles an hour down the straight at Al Reem. And I go to flick it into this big right-hander. And I flick it, and all of a sudden, I'm completely backwards. And so there's a wall here on the left, okay? And I come in and flick the car. Now I'm backwards, like this, up against the wall. And I extraordinarily turn the wheel in the right moment, the right way, to flip the car around and do a 360. So if you watched it, you would see me go down a straightaway at 100 miles an hour, about 24 inches from a wall, flick a 360 and land it. I did not do it on purpose at all. I got so lucky from almost completely totaling this car and potentially hurting myself. But what happened was I didn't know, and this is ignorance. At night, the track gets dusty. The sand from the wind blows all over the track. So even though I had drifted the track all day, I knew my marks, this is muscle memory, flick it in, good to go. Spun me. Oh my gosh, I could not believe how I saved this. There's no video of it, but trust me, it freaking happened, and it was intense. Like, my heart is beating thinking about it right in this moment.
Dude, that is unreal.
Wow! Did we just win a championship, Ian?
Yeah, buddy, we just won a championship.
We did it, baby. Wow. So yeah, 2010 Formula Drift Championship. What a memory. This was a big moment, a big year for me. You know, 2010 is when I got really my first Ford contract. You know, I'd been working with Ford since 2007, but it got real in 2010. Not that it wasn't real before, but, you know, there was, you know, it went from, you know, part support and to, you know, some monetary support and really starting to get into the fold Ford. And frankly, what was really the first step to where we are today with them. It was the year I signed with Monster. I mean, the whole year started off just big. Probably the most dominant championship up until this year with James. Yeah, just an amazing memory, right? Been fighting for this since Formula Drift started in 04, got my first FD win in 08, and then wrapped my first championship in 2010. So amazing feelings going on right now watching this. It's crazy to think this is 14 years ago. You know, I'm so glad we're doing this because, you know, a lot of people don't, you know me as the, you know, the top level pro guy, but I've been doing this for a really, really long time and like started on my garage in my back. And a lot of people don't even know this history. I mean, frankly, some drift fans, I mean, if you were 5 years old, you're 19 now. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy to think about. And I'm certainly grateful for all the love, but I think it's really cool to be able to share this with everybody. So this is Second Shift Drift, where somehow I was able to talk the Ford plant, which, by the way, amazing men and women that work there and build Mustangs day in, day out. I mean, lifers. And they're so passionate about what they do. And I was able to talk the plant into letting me shoot a video on the grounds of Flat Rock, on the test track, inside the actual plant. I mean, my car is literally coming off the production line that Mustangs still to this day come off of. This is sick. Other thing very interesting about this year, this was a year that I was able to make a unique livery that wasn't just the standard scallops. And so I was able to kind of create my own identity. Again, I believe this was 2012. I believe this would have been my last year driving with Falcon before I went over and started working with Nido. That was 2012, and that's what I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's what this year was. So here I am on the test track the high-speed loop just matted. I don't even know what speed I was going, but it was all the speed. You can see the parabolic loop. I think that's what it's called, but it just holds you, and I was just ripping. We were like, do you have like, 7 or 8 Mustangs you can bring out here so we can do this? They're like, do what? I'm like, yes, that. And they were like, yeah, we'll let you do that. Thank you. Thank you, Ford. Oh my gosh, skateboard car with Rob Dyrdek. This was a freaking dream come true. I've been thinking about doing this forever. And when I met Rob, and obviously as a fan of Fantasy Factory, who wasn't? And when I met Rob, I'm like, yo, I got this idea. We got to do this. And he's like, can we really do that? And we were looking at all kinds of stunts. We were looking at, there's a James Bond movie where they did the kickflip, which he later did in another car. But this was the OG skateboard car. I still have this car. It's actually still in Maryland at Rev Auto. In fact, I'm surprised Adam hasn't told me to get my car out of there. But we basically welded this metal plate on the bottom of the car. And it had channels. It didn't have channels, it was flat, but then it had these poles that came off the end of it so that once it was on the pipe, it could only go so much. And so some of these things worked 1000% like we envisioned. One of them that didn't was the flat board slide. I couldn't get the car to like not have momentum one way or the other. So it kept like spinning off of it. But the 50-50 grind up on the coping worked unbelievable. So there's obviously a bank and we had to make some dirt to like, so the car wouldn't G out and hit it. This set, by the way, is a studio in Hollywood that they shoot like boat scenes on and stuff. And so we built this out. We put dirt in to make a nice smooth transition. And we put coping up on the angle of it. And I flicked it up. And there's a shot in here we're about to see where I went up, flicked it, and we just did a perfect board slide and landed it. And me and Rob were like 2 little kids, like the most excited little kids you could imagine doing all these stunts for the first time. It was so freaking fun. Yeah! Yes! Jumped like a 25-foot gap. Dude, Rob got in the car and he's like, I want to do the gap jump. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm doing the gap jump. He's like, so they gapped they had to take off the large ramp, which would be effective of a 50-50. And he jumped the gap straight to the 50-50 board slide and just nailed it first time. Rob Dyrdek does his own tricks, ladies and gentlemen. He's badass. Oh, man. Oh, Drift Alliance in my quarry out back of my house. So when I lived in Maryland, I had a quarry out back of my house, and I used to go back there. In fact, partially why I'm halfway decent at off-road racing, aside from my motocross and drifting, is this quarry I had out back of my house. I used to go out back and rip rally cars. I had a couple little toys. So we did a Drift Alliance video, me, Turk, and Forsberg in our missile cars, which is now known as the Fun Haver Fox, which I've slightly refreshed, at least the outside of it. In fact, it's still got the freaking same zip ties on the front of this thing. And yeah, we went back and just ripped. That's my Corolla. That was my old rally Corolla. Turk's driving that. I don't know why I let Turk drive anything I own, but he didn't break it that day. That was the whole joke of getting Turked. Things get destroyed. That's a joke from a very, very long time. He might have gotten a little better now with his age, but always can get Turked, friends. Don't never forget it. This was Andy Lapuca, filmed this as well. Man, Andy, we've done a lot, buddy. Whoa! Nice jump, Turk. All right, so this was 2008 World Championship on the docks of Long Beach. Formula Drift did this, brought in a whole bunch of drivers from all over the world. I'm wondering if they show. I wadded my car up in the wall. I was following Reese Millen, and Reese had the Solstice at the time, I think, and I was in perfect proximity with him, but I wasn't paying attention to how long the rear of my car was, and he drove me right into the freaking wall. I was good proximity, but I had like 3 feet more car than him, and I was where I need to be. Well, if it was a same size car, I really need to be up here, but I got in the wall, bam, smacked right into it. So, meow. Goodwood Festival of Speed. I think this was the first year I went. Yeah, so this would have been 2015, maybe even 2014, actually, with the new 2015 Mustang. This Mustang is the same car that I did the Nürburgring in. This Mustang ultimately turned into my demo car, turned into Adam's demo car, and is now James' demo car. And yeah, Goodwood Festival of Speed. This driveway is sketchy. Thank you guys for doing this because it pushes everybody. Everyone that's here drives out of their comfort zone. I don't care who you are, say it's not true, you're lying. Because it's so nuts. But you're there to put on a show. And everyone's trying to one-up each other. And we're just sending it. And this is my first time there. I was definitely a little bit scared. You would have never known it, but I definitely was. Yeah, this was the first year I think they allowed drifting at this level, going all the way up the hill. I don't 100% quote me on that, but I think that's what it was. It was very, very foreign to this event to have this, but like drifters stole the show. I mean, it was after these runs, our area was full of people being like, what is that? Like, you got to remember, this Goodwood Festival of Speed, like posh F1 drivers, top level sports car drivers, everyone from freaking Richard Petty to Mario Andretti. Oh, that was a good rhyme. I didn't even mean to do that, friends. It just happened. But yeah, wow. Sick memory. Well, friends, that is looking at some videos over the last 15 years. I think we'll have to do this again because there's a whole lot more of them, but that was really, really fun. Thank you to my team for spending the effort to put this together. Some amazing history that this passion of mine of cars and drifting and fun having behind the wheel has taken me all over the world. Done some really, really cool things. It's not over by any means. It's not like a complete retirement announcement by any means, but something very cool that we wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really pumped you guys got to enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll do it again soon, friends. See you next time.